February 2021, Royal LePage put out a report that said nearly half of all millennials between the ages of 25 and 40 actually own a home. Now, quarter of those actually bought a home at the onset or since the onset of 2020. Now, 68% of those people who aren't homeowners are now saying that they want to buy a home in the next 5 years. And then in August 2022, Royal LePage also did another report that said 6 in 10 of those non-homeowner millennials are gonna potentially have to relocate to find a house. So where are they gonna go? Well, in today's video, we are talking about the Millennials Guide to Buying a House in Calgary. And you can clearly see we're not in Calgary, we're in Toronto. But we're gonna give you the guide here today so you have some great information for when you make that change. So if you want more information about this guide, we're actually gonna have a more detailed PDF that you can download in the description. But let's jump in and talk about the 9 steps of moving to Calgary and things you need to know. And make sure you see, when you see this icon, you're gonna see little things that are gonna pop up, little tips that are about insider tips that are just gonna pop on the screen. So watch for those, read them through. They're gonna be helpful tips as we go through these 9 points. But the first one is, dream home dilemma. This is a real thing. When you are trying to figure out that purchase, that new place, sometimes when you're scrolling on Instagram, looking through your TikToks, you see the dream home that some people have. But the reality is, and this is a thing in Toronto, you have to work up that property ladder. And sometimes you can't just jump into what you really, really want right away. You have to actually work at it, figure it out, and figure out your down payment and how that all looks. And the thing with that too is comparison really kills joy. If you start comparing yourself to others and start trying to figure it out, that's really gonna hurt you. However, you have to remember, you're also going to a place that's really, really affordable, much more affordable than where we are here in Toronto right now. And so the thing with that is you are going to be able to probably feel like you're getting more for your dollar when you come to Calgary. So you feel like you're getting closer to that dream, which is a great thing. So remember, don't compare to others and what you're looking for, but figure out what you need and what you want, and let's jump on to number 2. Now we want to talk about budget, your shopping budget. This is something really, really important that you need to know because it kind of determines what you're going to get into. And the thing is, there are so many videos that talk about pre-approvals, so I'm not going to get into that, but the thing that you have to make sure you do, spend that extra time getting the paperwork to the broker that you are chatting with to figure that out. And then secondly, is making sure you also have a broker that really understands the market that you're going to be buying in. Because the thing is, when you are buying in a different province, things are a little bit different. So you got to make sure that you have that set up for you and that you have a great person helping you through that process who understands the market. And the final thing is know the type of home that you're actually looking at buying. Because if you are potentially thinking of a condo or something with condo fees, you could actually get approved for a little bit more for a house or something that doesn't have condo fees. So that's just kind of a little tip to consider and think about because you kind of want to figure that out too. So talk with an agent, talk with us when you're coming to Calgary. We're going to be able to help you move here because that's what we do. We're real estate agents. We are a team and we want to help you move to Calgary because we love our city and we know you're going to love it too. So our next thing is finding an agent. You have to have a fantastic agent that you know, you like, you trust, and to be honest, that you might even love, right? And so the thing with that is it's true, like trust is so important, and making sure that you find somebody that is helpful, super knowledgeable, and interview a few. Add us to that list when you're coming to Calgary because there are a few agents in the city that are fantastic, and I truly believe that our team is one of them. And so interview with multiple people, figure that out. But the thing is, if you're also selling, and maybe you're selling in a different city to come to Calgary, I also can add a quick PDF that we have for questions you can ask for sellers, or listing agents, I should say, when you're selling your place, in the comments or the description as well. So feel free to jump in there. And we also know a ton of agents across the cities, across Canada, that can help you sell your place too. So this is really, really important, but interview lots of agents, because you got to find someone you love and trust. So next on our list is knowing your needs. It's truly important that you call a family meeting, that you get everyone together, and maybe you're moving by yourself. Talk to your family, your parents, maybe friends, but have conversations with those around you that could know about you or are moving with you to figure out truly what your needs are, because that is going to help you kind of like with the rest of the points and figuring out the house, figuring out the agent, all that kind of stuff. Because if you don't know what you need, who does, right? And so that's a massive thing to figure out. Think about your future. Think about over the next 5 to 7 years, because most Canadians are moving every 5 to 7 years. And so the person you're gonna be, the family you're gonna have or be in 5 to 7 years is gonna look drastically different. So try to think and plan a little bit ahead of that, because that's gonna help you when you're actually trying to figure out where you're gonna live. So the next thing is basically looking for this house. So there are some mistakes that people make. And one of them is waiting to buy in a seller's market. So when the market's hot and there's a lot of people buying, a lot of buyers kind of wait for that. And that's not necessarily a great thing to do. The other one is not pulling the trigger quick enough when you found your dream home. Quick story. Years ago, I had a good friend that wanted to buy a house, and they wanted to move into their new home, and they're getting married. We looked for months finding the perfect house. We found one. He loved it, but we're quite ready to pull the trigger. He's like, let's see what else is out there. 2 weeks later, and this is again in a total different market than what we've been in the last couple years, but 2 weeks later, we end up hearing that house has an offer on it. He also writes on it, turns into multiples. He loses the offer, loses his house that was like the house that he really, really wanted. And now he ended up having to search and search and search. He just kept continuing to compare that house to everything else he was seeing. And the problem was that he compared that home that he lost to everything else that we looked at. So what happened? He ended up building a house, had to wait another 10 months for that house. So now this thing that could have taken maybe a couple months to find the perfect one ended up taking a year and a half. And so it was a real big lesson that if you find that right one, don't be afraid to jump on it and make it your home. So in searching for that house, 2 more tips. 1, don't go to the listing agent. It never turns out well. And the reason is because you might be giving them a lot more information than you think, because you think you can trust this agent, but then you don't know what's gonna happen. And if you write with them, what's gonna happen? Whose side are they on? Whose advantage do you have? Who's on your side helping you? And then the last thing is when you are showing up in a new city, trying to figure out where you're gonna live, the best piece of advice that I can possibly give you is rent a car, get lost in the communities that your agent has said are great options for you, and just feel it. Feel it and see what you like, because you're gonna be surprised at what you find, and you might just drive away going, this is where I wanna live. And if that's the feeling you have, then that's where you gotta look for that house. So now you found the house. Now you got to figure out what to do. Well, writing that offer, there's 2 things that are really, really important: price and possession. So figuring out what the seller needs, what's important to them is really, really important, but also whatever you're gonna offer for price and what possession date do you need. You're making a move to a new city, so really think through that and make sure it's right for you and it's gonna work. Now there's a lot of other tips in that PDF below, so head there for more about writing an offer. So now you found the house, you wrote the offer, it's time to remove conditions. And so this is a part where you're working through with your mortgage broker, figuring out the financing, you're figuring out all the things that you need to do in terms of home inspections, right? We're in a market that you can actually start adding those things in. So do it. Like, these are necessities. And so with that home inspection, a massive tip, if you haven't seen the home in person because you are living out of town, this is a great time to fly in and see that home at that time. Because the thing is, you are gonna have a couple hours to be in this property. So it's a fantastic time to get in, feel it, understand it, live it, and enjoy it. Now your last point is you are waiting for possession. It's super, super exciting. You finalized the deal, you got the house, this is where you're at. You know your moving date and you're moving in. And so when you're making that change, just time it right. The biggest tip here is don't book your movers on your moving day. And if you're moving from out of town, basically make sure that you have the keys given to someone you trust and that your lawyer and your agent know about it. Because remember, there's nearly over 4 million millennials that are making a change in the next 5 years and wanting to buy a new place. And out of those, a lot of them have to move to a different city to do it. So remember, he's in a hurry. So remember to make sure that you have a plan, you've got something figured out. And if this has been helpful, download the PDF for more information and details and head over to this video.